So, guys, I might start in English because half of the crowd here comes from abroad, et l'autre moitié sont des gens d'ici avec qui donc on va se faire un coup en anglais, en français, on va se traduire nous-mêmes. Donc, in English, we will start with a very quick introduction right now, and Patrice will tell you a few things. Patrice, we have the huge pleasure to have Patrice with us, which has been the stereographer on Gaspar Noé's film, meaning he's been dealing with a 3D conception on the set. Donc, on va se faire une petite intro d'abord. On a avec nous Patrice Abol, qui a été le stéréographe sur le film de Gaspar Noé. Donc il va nous expliquer un peu comment ça s'est fabriqué du point de vue du relief, vu que c'est un film qui marque l'histoire du relief de manière importante, vu qu'on peut dire que c'est l'un des premiers véritables films d'auteur en relief. Vu qu'en gros le relief a été très balisé par le cinéma américain en relief, qui est donc une vision du relief assez réductrice parce que basée sur, en gros, du cinéma d'entertainment, du cinéma à grand spectacle avec du montage rapide, etc. Et ça fait des années qu'on hurle partout que le relief n'est pas fait pour le cinéma d'entertainment à l'américaine, le cinéma d'action. Le relief est au contraire fait pour du cinéma plus lent, plus contemplatif, plus sensoriel. Et c'est ce que Gaspar nous montre au travers de ce film, en réinventant une grammaire du relief et en écrivant pour le relief et en prenant une liberté par rapport aux règles du relief qui sont assez étonnantes, et Patrice va nous en parler. So yes, I'm trying in English now. So this film is considered in the recent history of 3D as a major step forward because most of the 3D films, stereo 3D films, have been shot by Americans, first of all, in a frame of mind, in a vision of 3D, which is very much linked to entertainment cinema, fast editing, full of visual effects, full of action most of the time. And it's for a long time we've been saying in all the workshops in Cross Film Lab and all the people that are very much in Europe focusing on what 3D can reach, we've been looking forward a moment where we could say, yes, we can see very clearly that 3D is not a medium, is not a tool done for action cinema, for quick cinema, for epileptic cinema, I would say, but is more a tool done for art house cinema, let's say contemplative cinema, or a cinema that that very deeply is letting the viewer invest its own sensations and brain into what is happening on the screen, meaning that 2D is in a way to compensate. I mean, the fast editing in 2D is a way to compensate for the lack of space, the lack of volume, in order that the brain recomposes the volume, meaning that in 3D editing, normally, we should take a lot more time. And what Gaspar is doing is, after Pina from Wim Wenders that we've been showing in this room, it's probably the second film that really proves the fact that 3D is a medium that can be used by art house cinema, by people that are interested by creating new sensations with cinema. Poetic sensations, let's say. So that's it. After this moment, we will have a moment of masterclass with Patrick where he will explain to us how they did it more in detail. And then I will advise everybody. Now it's good that you're most of you in the center of the room, but for the masterclass, I will ask most of you to, as many as possible, that you can come forward in order to be closer to the conversation that we will have with Patrice. Well, that's it. For those who don't know what the Cross Channel Film Lab is, oh yes, so this is for the French, so swap into French brain. Donc pour les Français de la salle, que vous sachiez pourquoi il y a tous ces gens dans la salle avec lesquels on parle anglais, c'est que tout simplement Il y a en ce moment à Brignogan au Groupe Ouest un workshop du Cross Channel Film Lab, qui est un workshop au départ, qui est un lieu au début dédié à de la recherche appliquée sur le cinéma, sur les effets visuels et le relief pour du cinéma à budget limité, pour du cinéma indépendant. Et c'était au début franco-britannique, donc Bretagne, sud de l'Angleterre. Et depuis cette année, c'est la première année où le Cross Channel Film Lab devient pan-européen. Et donc là, il y a, je crois, une dizaine de pays représentés. Et donc des gens qui viennent de loin, Andrea, Kenya. Voilà, et du coup, l'idée, c'est de se poser la question de savoir comment, au travers de ce film, on voit un exemple concret de comment le futur du cinéma en relief peut prendre une autre tournure que ce que les Américains nous envoient, et qui, d'une certaine manière, la vision américaine en dehors de Gravity, qui est un film extrêmement abouti du point de vue du relief, et qui est pensé pour le relief, en dehors de Gravity, on peut dire qu'une bonne partie du cinéma en relief américain est en train de contribuer à en tout cas, tuer cette première nouvelle vague du relief qui est née il y a maintenant 8-9 ans. Et le film de Gaspard fait partie des films qui contribuent à réouvrir la voie du fait qu'un autre relief, fabriqué en Europe la plupart du temps, parce qu'il n'y a pas beaucoup d'autres régions du monde qui s'y intéressent sous cet angle-là. Donc c'est l'ouverture, et ça nous intéresse d'en parler avec vous après évidemment, l'ouverture d'un nouveau champ d'exploration pour les sensations du spectateur au travers du relief. Et voilà, ceux qui aiment ce film considèrent que le voir sans le relief ne présente pas grand intérêt. Donc on vous prévient, ce n'est pas un film porno, mais c'est quand même un film assez audacieux du point de vue de comment filmer les scènes de sexe à l'écran. Donc c'est un film érotique audacieux, on va dire. Hein. Donc voilà, néanmoins ça reste un pur objet artistique, donc vous pouvez libérer toute la bonne conscience qui est en vous. Voilà. Et ben je laisse Patrice continuer, hein, et puis on regarde, et ensuite surtout on parle après, parce que je pense que c'est extrêmement intéressant de comprendre comment Gaspard s'y est pris pour un peu casser les codes par rapport au relief et inventer un monde qui est un monde absolument, fantastiquement pictural à partir du relief.
Bonsoir à tous. Merci Antoine déjà pour cette introduction magnifique. Il a presque tout dit en fait. Et voilà, donc on a souhaité, Antoine a souhaité m'inviter ce soir, et moi j'en suis très honoré, pour montrer aussi du cinéma d'auteur en 3D. Et tu l'as dit, c'est assez rare pour être signalé. Et nous, on est très fiers d'avoir fait ce film, même si les critiques ont été, on va dire, mitigées. Certains ont beaucoup aimé le travail de Gaspard, d'autres moins. On pourra en discuter après. On pourra aussi discuter du relief en lui-même, sans parler que de la stéréo. Et je vais vous expliquer un petit peu les enjeux, les challenges que représentait le film avant de le faire, pendant qu'on le faisait et après l'avoir tourné. Parce que c'est...
So Patrice is going to explain to us what kind of technical challenges have been faced during the making of the film, before, during, and after, post-production.
In post-production, because as you know, that's better now, but shooting in 3D is not that easy. But that was more difficult 5 years ago. Now the technique and the camera that we used, the experiences of French stereograph, European stereograph, is even better now, and that's part of what I'm going to explain. The presentation of Antoine was perfect. So take care with your eyes. The movie will be hard for some of you, but I hope you will enjoy it. Watch every scene. If you have questions regarding any scenes, I can explain how we did it and what were the challenges that we face, and that's it.
Super. So in case some of you, I have to translate this.
En français. Oui, donc en fait, non, ce que je veux dire, c'est vraiment profitez-en pour regarder le film aussi bien en termes de scénario, artistique, poétique, comme Antoine disait, mais n'hésitez pas aussi à avoir un œil technique, que je puisse vous expliquer aussi comment on a fait certains plans, pourquoi certaines règles du relief que vous avez eues ou que vous avez vues dans des films ont été transgressées à raison, parfois, dans ce film, Et c'est ça qui est intéressant, c'est que pour ceux qui ont déjà vu le travail de Gaspard Noé, on est dans l'expérience, dans l'expérimentation, et c'est super intéressant, même enrichissant pour nous d'avoir travaillé avec ce fou, on peut le dire, et je vais essayer de vous expliquer tout ça après. That's it.
Okay. So in case, if any one of you has trouble with the glasses, there's other glasses around. So please, if there's a trouble, don't wait the whole film thinking it's a shitty film with the eyes not working. These are active glasses with a signal between the projector and the glasses. So there's 0.5% chances you might have trouble. And so if you have trouble, please get up, take other glasses, and I will ask people to have other spare glasses in case, very close, okay?
One last word, the movie was shot in 8 weeks. That's really tight, with a small medium budget, so that could be interesting for you guys to see what we can do with small budget, short time, good technicians, I hope, and I hope you will enjoy it. That's good 3D.
Yes. Okay, that's it. That's it. It's around the drink after the room that we talk about the script separately in terms of thematical content, what it says, etc. What is interesting is to look at here a very special object, which is an experience, a film experience done in 3D by a guy which has been using 3D in a very unusual way. And maybe to start, I start the first question to Patrice, who again was the stereographer of the film. It's question number one, and then you will be asking the others. It's rule number one that we've been learning here, working on 3D with the Rob team, with Joséphine and Alain and also Thierry and François also here. It's you better keep the camera slightly in movement all the time in order to slightly change the perspective and to enhance the feeling of 3D, the feeling of relief. Here we see more than half of the film in fixed shots. So this is rule number one, broken.
Yes. The fantastic thing with Gaspard Noé is that the word rule does not really exist. That means that when you try to explain something or you try to convince him, you need to show first, and you need to experience it first. And as you mentioned, Thierry, because I've done this movie with Thierry Poufari. Some of you know him. He's a very, very good stereographer. Was done Pina, was done Asterix. And we broke every rule at the first day of shooting. Means that, as you can see, the movie is shot with very low light. The lenses were always at maximum of iris. The camera is always fixed, and this is really interesting because what I really love on this movie was the preparation with Gaspard, because he is a huge fan of 3D. He has this project since a very long time, and he wanted to do it in 3D, and he wanted to see a lot of 3D movies before doing the movie. And he didn't want to do things that people love. He wanted to do his own experience, and that happens sometimes in the movie. But you will see if you have some specific shot who has disturbed you. For example, there are some specific shots that I don't really like, but that doesn't care for him because that's what he wanted to do and to physically do something to you. For example, the last shot with the with the lamp. Maybe Alex can say that, but it's just terrible for the brain. It's terrible to understand what happened there because there's a lot of light. There's a lot of you don't really feel what happened, but he really loved this shot, and he doesn't really care. The shots with the small camera that you can see when Elektra and Murphy are playing in the bed, they are not really done for this type of size of screen, but he doesn't care because that's his own experience. So this is really weird to talk about this movie right now because all that Antoine and Alex will tell you this week, you can break them. You can break the rules. You can break the rules. You can try. You can try because sometimes he tries and that doesn't work. For example, he wanted to modify the frame rate on each camera just to test. He wanted to try to use the 3D as a physical experience for the viewer. And once in the scene when Murphy tried to take some drugs, he wanted to drug you guys and to try it. And when he saw that doesn't work, he forget about it. But he needs to test. He needs to do everything.
Stroboscopy, etc. He was trying that.
He was trying that with the light. You probably won't believe me, but I swear it's true. When Gaspard came the first day to prepare the shooting, he has only one problem. Only one problem. He doesn't care about the money, about anything, even though they don't have a lot of money to do it. He just wanted his top shot to be done with a crane, a small dolly crane inside a small room, and he just wanted to have the smallest camera possible because the actors are not. Only Murphy is a real actor. The two girls are not really actresses. So he didn't want to impress them with a big camera. And his only problem was the size of the camera. He doesn't really care how it works, the light, the camera, the rig. He just wanted to have something small to do a top shot because top shot is one of the master shots he wanted to do in the movie. And as you can see, some of them are really beautiful, like photography. And this is one of the other rules that we break in 3D because you don't have a lot of depth of field. When you hit the ground or you hit a bed with the top shot, people will say that doesn't really, it's not really interesting in 3D. But I have to admit that I was not completely in it. And when you look at the body, you can see what he wanted to do, and that works. We only use the same focal length on 90% of the movie. It was the 18 because he wanted to keep the.
But he does it in all of his films anyway.
In all of his films.
So.
I don't know if you have seen Enter the Void. You guys know? That was his previous movie. And in the intention letter, it was interesting because this movie is done in 2D, but respect all the rules of 3D. All the rules. The camera is always in movement. You have the light, you have everything. And I think Gaspard Noé wanted to do this movie also in 3D because he has this sensation. He wanted to use the 3D to express things.
Generally, immersive sensations.
Exactly.
It seems to be an immersive cinema, even when it's Irreversible, really is an immersive film, even if it is a 2D film.
So that's the type of top shots he really wanted to. He's a kind of architect of the picture, because I forgot to introduce myself. But I'm not really in the cinema industry. I have a production company who does new technology shooting, and we most of the time work for commercials, for short movies. And when he came in the office to tell us that he wanted to work with us on this movie, we were just like really excited because I never seen those type of guy working, but. for a shot like that, for example, it can take hours to he's a very methodic guy, and sometimes you feel like it's too much, but that's exactly what you want to do, and that's very impressive to see him work.
So did you do all the testing before?
No, in fact we did.
Is that part of the 8 weeks?
So that everybody
No.
hears your questions in the room.
So did he do all the testing before the 8-week shoots, or would he test these type of?
No. First of all, Alex probably will explain you that when you decide to do a 3D movie, the first thing is to prepare everything, and you need to choose your rig, you need to choose your team, you need to choose your camera. And the thing is that he wanted two things: top shots, and he wanted his Steadicam shot, because as you can see, the only movement part of the movie are done with Steadicam. And we needed to find a good solution to find a compact rig, a compact camera, where Gaspar would be happy and where the DOP would be happy. And the DOP always want the best camera. He always want to have the choice to choose the frame rate, to open the iris, to do whatever he want to do. So we did 1 day of shooting because he needed to convince the producer. 1 day of shooting with other actors to do his top shot and to do Steadicam shot. The problem is, this is the camera we use to do the test. So this is a PS Technic rig with, this is P1, so that was not this camera. Okay, that was this camera doing the test. So when he saw the camera, he said, hell no, this is much too big. And the picture quality convinced everybody. So he decided to do it in 3D. They had the subvention of the CNC, thanks to the new technology CNC. So they decided to find, to do it in 3D and to find a more compact camera, which is this one. So we go with this rig, and it's a little bit less compact, but still impressive. But that's part of the game in 3D. You need to have a little bit of size. But that was a real challenge for us also, because if you, as Antoine explained, you have a lot of movies done in 3D with landscape and actors and VFX, and this is one of the only one done not in studio but in a real apartment in small places. He really wanted to have a small team, which is sometimes people think it's really difficult to have a small team in 3D, but we were 6 during the sex scene. We had 10 days of sex scene at the same time, and more or less 20 during the shooting. That's his way of working because he's very weird. We can say that he didn't want any monitoring on the stage. Means that even him doesn't look on the small screen of the camera, and us at the 3D we had the monitoring, but anyone else could see the scene. He didn't want anyone to see the scene. Everybody on the stage need to put his telephone in a box, no photos on the screen. That's his way of working, and this is good. What is more dangerous is regarding the post-production. He didn't want any laboratory to check the rushes because he wants to be the only one who check his rushes, which I think is a bit dangerous. But fortunately, we didn't have any type of big problem, so that was cool. Choose the camera, choose the rig.
Yep.
If you guys have technical question, I can also answer.
Yeah, in some of the top shots, I think 1 or 2, we feel that the camera is not vertical, but a bit more on the axis, so you have a bit of perspective, and
Yeah,
that shot works much better in my opinion.
that's my opinion too.
Because you have perspective,
Yeah.
and yeah, you feel that the camera is a bit over the edge, and so it was a compromise for him, or it's some shots that you were able to convince him that to add perspective is better. I don't know.
I think I completely agree with you, and but you can't convince a director, and especially like him, and you know that's very, to me that's very good, because I understood that the stereographer can't be a director. The stereographer, and many stereographers want to be directors, but you can't. For example, if you have this example of the top shot on with the perspective, but all the shots with Murphy in the door when he's thinking and everything, we loaned a slider, because during the prep we realized that
What is the slider? So that
a slider, you know, to just to do a small traveling with the camera, and he realized during the preparation that everything that's going really smooth up to the actors gives you parallax and gives you the sensation of the 3D. And if you tell him that this is good, this is really good, he say this is really good, but we'll do it fixed. But that works. That works, and I think the stereographer work is really to discuss, to speak, to understand what he really wants to do, and sometimes to he's the boss. So that's it.
There is another shot that I was a bit disturbed with, but I don't know why. It's the shot in the restaurant, like the Chinese one with the big painting behind them.
Yeah.
And it's strange because you feel that there is really slow traveling.
Yeah.
But you feel that still it's fixed. It's like there is a moving like forward and backward. I don't know why, but it's.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that shot. But this one was really strange for me.
Yeah.
A bit disturbing.
Huh?
It's a background movement.
Yeah, it's a backward movement. We did use the slider on this one, and this one is really, really strange because the painting looks like a perspective, and you feel like there's a window behind, but it's just a painting, it's the wall. And if you look at the film again, you will see that there is maybe 3 or 4 shots with a big background with landscape during the traveling. All of the shots you have 5 or 6 meters with a background, which is sometimes you can say that that's not really the rules in 3D. And this one is special because you can really feel your brain is telling you that there's a perspective, but your brain is smart enough to say no, there's a wall, and that can be disturbing for you. But I thought it was interesting to shoot it, yeah. And we did use the slider to do a real small movement. All the shots are done with fixed lenses. We never use zoom, and there were Sumilux, Leica Sumilux.
And did you use another lens for? I think I remember of one especially, but for the really close-up shot, there is one face close-up shot that is working really well.
Wow.
Because you have a really small depth of field, so it's really blurry. And
we use it once. Yeah.
And so then you have to change the lens. No,
yeah, we did change the lens, and the thing is that less the director but more the production part were a bit afraid that 3D takes time, you know, during the shooting, and that is totally wrong. I really want to say that. Of course, 3D is a bit expensive. It's a bit more expensive. You have 2 cameras, sometimes 3 cameras. We never know. You have 2 set of lenses, but 3D doesn't take more time than any other shooting. If you have the good camera, if you have the good technician, especially on that type of shooting where the set is so important for him. I mean, each and every movie you see in the library are completely aligned, and he wanted. You guys are directors, so maybe you know what he wanted to do, but every single detail is important for him. So we were ready always before the yeah. So 3D doesn't take more time than 2D. Very important right now. Now, because 5 years ago, yeah, that wasn't true. 3D,
But it takes more prep time, no?
but it takes more.
Prep time.
No. Usually the 3D team waiting for decoration, for everything.
No, but if you say you did all the experiments before the 8-week shooting, then you do all the tryouts.
We did only 1 day of experimentation. We did only 1 day just to convince people that we can shoot 3D in small places, and we can have something terrible by shooting bodies in 3D and
Terrible,
with low
you mean
light.
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. No, sorry, that's a French.
Is there a special issue in terms of lighting and lens, not lens, but aperture opening with the
We had
extreme close-up? I think about the close-up of the eye, like the macro shot.
hmm?
Is it something, because obviously there is almost no 3D on that shot?
Yeah, when you're really close, no depth of field. There are some people are sometimes disappointed because but Gaspar Noé really wanted, he didn't want to do any type of large amount of 3D. He really wanted something natural, and this is one of the first things he said. And even though the movie is important in 3D, he didn't. For example, we used positive parallax one time just to make the laugh with the finger, and sometimes with.
No?
Sorry?
The smoke, that was positive?
The smoke also, yeah. That was my idea, the smoke.
Sperm jumping out of the tree.
And the
no?
sperm jumping out of the tree is the only VFX shot.
Yeah.
I swear, that was really hard for him.
Don't you feel
Thank-
relieved, guys?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
VFX, no worries.
Yeah. So he asked what type of cameras do we use during the scene when they are together in the bed, which is completely different camera. So tu comprends l'anglais? Ouais.
Yes.
So that was a part shot with a small consumer camera, with a binocular camera, which you can find at Darty or La Fnac, and this is another rule completely broken, because those type of camera are done to watch 3D on TV. So on this type of screen, your eyes completely diverge. So if you accept that, your brain is very good, very, very good. Because, this is completely the type of shots, and he wanted to put that in the movie. It's very short, but for example, if you look at those type of picture on those screen during 10 minutes, you have a headache. That's really hard. But he wanted to change completely. As you can see, the quality of the camera is completely different. You don't have the same sensor, but he wanted those scenes to be really like an intimate part of their love story.
Okay, one thing I saw in the film, I don't know if it's also a rule in 3D, but in the gallery, the paint gallery, for example, the use of, how do you say, profondeur de champ, the
Depth of field.
Yes, the depth field, the use of it, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
The perspective you can have when in the paint gallery, when she walks.
Exactly. In the paint gallery, you have really something you can.
It's very bold.
It's also because of the element. The depth of field is interesting there because the paint, the wall of the paint gallery are completely white, and we are here in a kind of atmosphere when your brain doesn't really catch the angle of the ground, the angle of the top, and you are just like that works pretty well in Gravity, because you are completely in an unknown space for your brain, and you just feel the painting on the wall. That works pretty well. Also, I do agree with you.
I would have maybe something else. Oh, yeah. There's a subject which I find really interesting. We all have heard a lot of things about how sound can help 3D films, and now with Dolby Atmos and sounds that come from the ground, from the sky, from wherever. And he's been choosing, it seems, to do a film in mono, not even stereo. That's it's what do you think?
I can't say a lot. I just feel admirative. We can say that.
You admire.
I really admire the sound guy, because as you can imagine, on those type of movie, he's not really invited on scene. He was completely alone, and I think 80% of his work were during the post-production.
It's a bit odd sometimes.
Yeah, completely. And also, to be honest with you guys, the girl, Aomi, the girl who played Electra, was completely sound post-production, yeah. So during the shooting, that was quite hard for him, completely, yeah.
Who feels like asking for some more? Yep.
I don't know if it's a stereography question, but the grammar where he cuts to black very briskly, like a blink.
Yeah.
Is that related to his conception of moving from one size of shot in 3D to another, or that's something else?
There's two things there. He had this idea before he knew that the movie was going to be done in 3D. He wanted to give the viewers the immersive part by faking a eye blink. That's it. And after he watched a lot of 3D movies, especially after the Oz Magician, same thing. He realized that when you move from a 3D shot to another one, we use in post-production what we call the floating windows, and Alex will tell you more about that, to not to create a too bad difference between the budget between two shots. And you realize that by using this blink, this dark picture, he had something very intense, and the whole movie was going to be done like that, except one scene, and that's interesting. The scene when Electra meets Murphy. I told you he had two ideas in his mind: top shots, Steadicam. This scene was supposed to be 8-minute Steadicam shot. I don't know if you guys have seen Irreversible, which is one of his first movie, and you have an awful, how we can say that, really hard shot by Steadicam. And Gaspar Noé always wanted to do technical things in his movie. So he did the Steadicam on Irreversible. He did the top shots also flying in Enter the Void, if you see Enter the Void. And he wanted to do this 3D shot in the park during 8 minutes, which is completely impossible. Impossible for the Steadicam.
Yeah, still.
Because we did this shot with 3 different Steadicammers. The first one said, this shot is impossible. He didn't succeed. The second said, this shot is impossible. He didn't succeed. So he made he made, how to say that in English? He has a friend who done the Steadicam shot on Irreversible, who lives in Brazil. So he took the ticket, make him come, and he say, those two guys can't do it, you can do it. And the guy say, this shot is impossible in 3D. Because This is the rig of the Steadicam, and this is the
Thierry.
famous Thierry Bouffary, and the guy on the left is the Steadicam, Eric Catlan. They tried to do it, but it was impossible doing. I don't know if you in Paris there's Les Buttes Chaumont, which is a big park with stairs and hills and valleys, and he wanted the Steadicam to do that, and it's human. it's completely impossible. So he used the dark.
With the new rig that
With min rig, it's
with
possible.
Min's rig, it's possible now.
With
With
min
the
rig,
rig
it's
that
possible.
you're going to see tomorrow, it's possible now.
Yeah.
Because it's only, what, 5 kilos?
I'm pretty sure some of them were shot in 3D, right? And crazy movement with Steadicam
In Birdman,
yeah.
Birdman was not shot in 3D.
It wasn't?
No.
No. With one camera, maybe you can do it, but
But
and even in Birdman, it was it was flat. Yeah.
maybe, François, the Steadicam of Wim Wenders in Pina, is he?
Some very long shot.
But he's
Yeah, that's
what,
right.
120 kilos? Or?
He's not a big guy, he's a small guy, but very, very strong. And he makes some long, but maybe
Not that long.
not on the same kind of groove with
Yeah.
variation, you know. That's
But to be honest, even in they tried the guy who tried it first is Philippe Bordelais, which is one of the best Steadicammers in 3D. He had built rigs, and it's the shot was really impossible to do.
I will see it. And, yes.
Yeah, the shot was really impossible to do because you have too much things, and he wanted the I understand Gaspar Noé things, but right now you can do it with rigged mins or maybe with a drone in 2 years. But with that type of cameras, we are close to 28 kilo.
Yeah, but more the weight of the stead.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 28 is just the rig. So.
The rig and the camera.
Question, well, for the stereoscopy, I think the work is very well done.
Thanks.
But I'm very surprised by the lighting.
Yeah.
Oh,
And maybe we are.
I didn't tell you one thing.
Where's the screening? But
No,
that's the lighting where we are on the border and looking.
no, here, please, one thing. Here, I had a discussion with, where is he? Bernard, Gérard, pardon, who is heading this cinema, and Gérard, it seems that the people that have been doing all the, how do you say, l'étalonnage of the apparatus, you know, I mean, we've seen this film in other cinema. I've seen it twice before, and it's not that dark. Here, it's crazy. It's a problem with the projector. It shouldn't be that dark.
Today, yeah, today it was really dark, and some shots you can imagine. But to go in your way, the shooting, the DOP, which is Benoît Deby, used to do 3D with Wim Wenders, had a challenge on this one. Everybody had challenges, and the challenge with Benoît Deby is that Gaspar Noé didn't want any projectors on the set, and that's not a joke. It means that he had a Joker Bug 800, and that's all. And he liked the movie with how to say that? Les ampoules survoltées.
LEDs? No.
No, there's no.
Just normal.
Normal lights.
Photofloods.
Yeah, because how do you say that?
Is it photofloods?
No. Comment dire ampoule?
Bulbs.
Normal bulb.
Normal bulbs
Daylight.
with much more power in it.
That's a photoflood.
Sorry. So that was part of his challenge. He really wanted to do something like that. No projectors. So this is one of the thing that was interesting, because, for example, when you learn 3D by the Dorob school or other school, you learn that you need to put your eyes at 8, 5, and we were always full open. So
yeah, okay, but if it can be a part of the production, I will not push too much. Sometimes it's really boring.
sometimes we're able,
Or just acceptable.
and also with the with the active glasses, it's even darker. Yeah, yeah.
You lose a lot of detail, and detail is so important to watch 3D. So at the same time, when the part of the picture is totally black, you lost totally all the reference and you are
Depth cues.
to
There's no depth cues.
look behind the body. It's really strange.
What I felt is that he's really playing on that in a few moments where the character are really on the foreground but black, like cut out, and behind you have like more light, like in the discotheque, in the disco and things like that. So they're really like cut out shapes, and then you can see behind, and they're really
Exactly.
masking the background. That's almost the opposite
As
what
it-
you're doing. So
As it doesn't have any projectors, that's exactly what Antoine says. He tried to find depth clues by using the lights in the background of the rooms, by using also stroboscopic lights to make you feel sometimes the depth, and that was hard for us also, as you can imagine, because when you try to do those type of shots to set your 3D, that's really hard not to have enough elements to do everything. But that was part of the challenge at the beginning. We wanted to do a movie in small spaces, low light, and to keep focus on the story and on the bodies.
I don't know what you thought about the fact of having so many fixed shots in 3D. I think that very often they were very amazing. Yeah, it worked perfectly well. Yes, you've seen in the bathroom at the end, you know, the shape of the body, the feeling, you know, what we're going to talk about tomorrow during our little experiments with Francois, the notion of presence, you know, the physical, the body presence, the human presence, the feeling of presence is it's very amazing with completely fixed camera. No, this is normally the kind of thing that you wouldn't completely. I mean, of course, you've done it already, but normally you would be tempted to say, guys, let's make it move, you know, slowly, you know.
It's not an obligation, and the shot was so long that when you have moved your camera from 1 meter on the slider, what you come back. And I think when you get some shot of 6 minutes, maybe you choose to not move, because if you move, you will be. The movement will say the thing.
Here it seems that there is, I mean, 3D really opens a field for, you know, long, I mean, feature film done with 10 or 20 shots, you know, that is possible. So it's just a question of, you know, please screenwriters find stories that you can tell in 20 shots.
One point is true. We have a rule to say that we need to move, and but maybe two things. Maybe we can move with iframe rate to don't lose the scenario, because you know when you move at the same time you start to have a motion blur or a big strobe. So that could be a program at the same time. So move here, but not a lot, and not too faster, or use iframe rate, for example, and so some time to have to be calm, but to have time to see all the detail. Put a lot of detail in the scene, as for example in the bathroom. They use a lot of perspective line to accentuate 3D, and that could be some detail. Yeah, detail, and that's what we do.
That's exactly that. Especially with the gouttes.
The good, yeah.
The drops of water, which is really, really interesting to have the details of the drops. That specific shot was shot in 48, and that's part of the
to have drop.
To have the drops, yeah, exactly, because it gives you a movement more with less flicker, and that's better. And that was part of the choice of the camera, because for example, that's something you can't do with every cameras right now. So that's why we decided to go on Red Dragon, the carbon version, to be lighter, and to shoot in 4K, sometimes in 5K, sometimes in 2K.
Yeah.
Sorry, the image was of an Arri Alexa. The image was of an Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh, just that shot was a Red Dragon.
Yeah.
Very nice without any cable, you know, it looks like much more
So,
sexy.
yeah. So this was with Nari. This is the configuration that shot the last Wim Wenders shot. We decided not to go on those one because the recorder, those are camera. You know the difference between a camera and a camcorder?
Sure.
So those are camera, means that you have a fiber going out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Real Alexa behind.
yeah, and Gaspar Noé did not want any fiber, anything comes out of the camera. He wanted to put everyone outside of the room. So we go on those one, but those one are not the carbon one. The carbon are smaller. So we used this rig, Steadiflex, on with 2 carbon. And he had not fibers, but he had PNC cable. We win on this.
So there you have the battery and you can record within a hard drive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But you're going to see tomorrow, you can do much lighter.
Add battery there.
You need to add.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, it's a complete system.
It's a complete system. You don't.
Remote
You don't have any recorders.
Yeah, you need the remote for the lens remote, and but you have.
Oh no, sorry. This one is not the complete system. You miss the remote of the parallax. You miss
Like some motorized system.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't need it to be plugged to an hard drive or to something.
Exactly. You record inside the cameras.
So you're pretty in a light setup.
Yeah. One thing important, I told you, there is no more time to set the 3D right now because people knows how it works. This rig especially is honestly, that was my first shooting with this rig. This rig is really, really cool. Even though you shoot 8 weeks, one of the best one. I mean, I did 3D since 7 years. So sometimes you use a rig and the day after you need to reset everything and every shot. With this one, you just set it once and you have the 8 weeks. So this is a real good rig.
Come from Germany,
so Dutch Qualität. That's it. But even though it's really faster, something Gaspar and his production crew didn't really realize is the amount of data. When you shoot with those rigs, sometimes in 4K because you feel like you want to do 4K, sometimes in 5K, you realize that the hard drive are very big, and the poor guy at the back, I admire him also because you have a large amount of data, and if you need to do the backup each and every night, and you don't want to sell the rushes at the laboratory, that's kind of.
But then, guys, low budget, 4K, not needed.
Not needed. I completely agree. Completely agree with him.
My question is not technical, just I imagine it was very difficult for actors to work in this condition. It's really very hard.
Yes. That was not. I can't speak for them. I can speak for me. I can speak for me. Me, as I told you, I have a production company, and once my friend Antoine here told me that you are not a real production company if you don't do a porn movie. So I'm kidding. So to be honest, when Gaspar told us to come and do the movie, we were really excited. We were really excited because that's cool. That's really cool. We're gonna do a good movie with Gaspar Noé with sex in it. That's cool. But that's not really fun. It's not really funny at the shooting because first the actors are not. real actors, because as you can imagine, he wrote this scenario for Monica Bellucci and Vincent Cassel. He wanted to do this before Irreversible, which is...
And they wanted to. But Monica's agent said, girl, if you want to ruin your career, you do this. So she had to say no.
Exactly. And so I think it's hard for an especially, unfortunately, for an actress to accept this kind of role, because you are she's now completely in those type of role. Even for the actor, which is a young American actor who had done some few roles, and now he's playing in the new Nicolas. What's the name of the guy who done Drive? Yeah. So he's a main role now in the. So it's not a big problem for him. The shooting was a bit hard, so that's why Gaspard decided to do it in a really small crew, to do it in a very small time, 10 days, to do all the sex shots in 10 days, and to be honest, he experienced with the cameras, with the tools, but he also experienced a little bit with the actors. He really wanted them to meet before the shooting, and I'm quite sure that he wanted them to really fall in love, because for example,
which happened, no?
Huh?
Which happened?
I don't know. To be honest,
The first 10 days or the last 10 days?
That was the first 10 days. But for example, he chose the girl first, and I think the girl chose the guy. Yeah. The girl chose the guy because he had to find this synergy between both actors to have something credible. If they can't see each other, that wouldn't work.
Near the bed, there were only Gaspard plus DOP. They were just the two of them. Close to the bed.
That was his first idea, but that was not possible, because even though they knew how to manage the camera, they needed someone inside the room to manage the camera, because they wanted to test things, to change frame rate, to change ISO. So in the room, during the sex scene, you have Gaspard, you have Bernard Deby, the DOP, you have the focus puller, which were with them, the sound guy when he was invited, and the one stereographer inside the room with the transvideo, and the other one was with the monitoring, watching both eyes to be sure that there is no problem. So that's it.
There were some doubleurs or not?
Sorry?
Doublure?
Yeah, doubleur.
For when Gaspard plays the sex scene, yes.
I'm not sure.
You've seen the head of the gallery is Gaspard Noé himself, right?
Yeah.
The guy called Noé, it's Gaspard with a wig.
You have doubleurs on a really close shots. You have some.
And the cop is played by Vincent Maraval, which is head of Wild Bunch, the big financiers of French cinema. Great actor. I mean, he ends, saying for your health, go to these places. It's a good cop.
I know the guy is fine because we're still alive, we're still talking, and I think even though that's hard, that's part of the deal. You don't have any surprise when you read the first scenario. The very first scenario I received was 7 pages, and I feel like 7 pages. And he had the financial support. So
nothing like the actress of Romance X of Catherine Breillat. You remember many years ago, and the girl it wasn't planned that Rocco Siffredi would penetrate her in a scene, and that was the manipulation of the female director. But here it was completely planned from the beginning. So
yeah, everything was planned. They have a huge. There were no surprise on set, and that was part of the deal. They knew it. You know, we were a bit afraid, to be honest, especially for the young one, because the blonde hair girl is 21. So it was just like, wow, she does that movie and her boyfriend is watching, so that's it. But to be honest, I don't think it was very terrible. I'm not a psychiatrist, so but I don't think it was too hard for them.
Yes, we have to stop. It seems.
Yeah.
I have just a question for the crowd, just a small question, because when we released the movie, it was really interesting to know what people feel about the interdiction of 16, because the movie was under, how do you say that?
Because initially, there has been a big debate in France whether it was allowed for people over 18 or over 16. So
16.
Over 16, it's better for the release, of course. And at one point, the minister of
decided to put it over 16, and finally the Catholic Association decided to fight to have it under 18.
Over 18.
Over 18, and that I think that's really interesting, because one of the okay, it's sex. You have drug, you have sex, and an interesting point that Gaspar Noé is defending is with his little 15-year-old girl, and he was saying that his girl is 15. In 1 year, she'll be 16, and his previous movie, which is Irreversible, previous, had a lot of violence in it, and was over 16, and a lot of violence, rape, kidnapping, and everything. And he was saying that this one is over 18 because you have sex, and he wished that his little girl would never have to be kidnapped, raped, or violence, but he wished her to find a guy when she will fall in love and they have sex. And that was interesting, because he was just talking about a kind of hypocrisy in the way that we rate movies in France.
I mean, in America, even worse.
In France, in America, and the way they treat violence at cinema, especially.
But it's a love story, no? What do you think?
Mais ni irréversible d'ailleurs. Ouais.
Ah non, non, mais par contre, je suis d'accord sur violence sexe.
Ouais.
I said that my daughter is 15 years old and I don't want to see it. But she will not see Irreversible. So
Neither.
You're overprotective.
It's okay to watch movie with 1,000 people dying.
Do you know that? Yeah, a recent study is establishing the fact that there's 99% of kids today of 10 years old that have all watched porn through the internet. 99%. So, and this is porn. This, what we've seen, is not porn. I mean, it's heavily, it's loaded erotic film, but it's not porn.
And what's really interesting is that when they put the movie over 18, it was one of the favorite movie by this people. Young people wanted to see it. That's.
Yeah, we'll continue tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Thank you very much for all of you, and hello to all our BTS friends.
Yes, and this cinema belongs to a priest.
It used to.